All right, everybody worldwide, you're now tuned into Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best. And I'm your host, Tom Danger. Back this week with a new episode. Slow motion better than no motion. We are slowly approaching our way to that 52nd episode that we set out to do over a year ago, even though this is only episode, I believe it's episode 37. And I always like to start with a little story. And part of it has to do with the reason to restate why I do these podcasts. I constantly find myself, I don't want to say in a dark place, but I'll say in a not so positive place, because sometimes I can allow life and the challenges to get the best of me. You know, so many things going on, stress, family, caring for parents, home care, kids, wife, work, making time for yourself. And sometimes you just get winded. You get winded from everything that's going on around you. And sometimes it could be that smallest thing that just sort of pushes you to your limit. And the car can basically speed out of control or go out of control. So what we want to do at Motivation and Confidence is give you the tools to always bring you back to get you centered, right? We talked about nutrition last week. We've talked about fitness. We've talked about, your circle, knowing yourself. We've had other industry professionals come on and talk about they hustle, they grind, where they find the motivation, where they get the confidence to do what they do. And by the way, we have a lot more special guests coming on the show. And like I mentioned last week, if you have someone that you consider a subject matter expert or someone who has a very impactful and empowering story, please leave us a comment and we'll be sure to connect. And as always, like, subscribe, and share. We're across all media platforms. Facebook, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, of course, Spreaker, Alexa, probably and a few other ones that I'm forgetting to mention. Right? So what do you do when the car begins to speed out of control? And as a kid, I've always had this ability to backtrack my thoughts. So like, let's say if I'm thinking about something at work, but I'm already at home, I'll sort of go through my mind and see what caused me to think about that particular subject matter at work when I'm already at home, when I should be pretty much detached from whatever I was working on in the day, right? And I do that by breaking things down into small sections, right? And for lack of a better term, it's taking baby steps, right? So I remember one part of my thought, and that part reminds me of another thought, and that part reminds me of another thought, till it brings me back to the beginning. How does this make sense? When you feel your car, or when you feel your emotions, or your emotion starting to spin out of control, you take baby steps. The first thing, if I could say the most powerful thing that you could do, is ask yourself in that moment, is it really worth it? Is it worth you getting upset? Is it worth you being all emotional and crying about it? Is it worth the loss of your joy in that moment? And if it's not, then you move on to the next step. What do you really want in that moment? How do you want to feel? The choice is yours. You have to choose to be happy. You have to choose to be successful. You have to choose to stay motivated. You have to choose to be confident. And these are all things that you can do within a matter of seconds. And we're not talking about these, big, grandiose, dramatical changes. People talk about, life-shifting experiences. And I was telling somebody today that I'm tired. I'm tired of being sad. I said, what are you going to do about it? I said, I'm choosing to be happy. That's it? Yeah, that's it. You can do the same thing. Just choose to be happy. You don't have to justify yourself to anybody. You don't have to, have this crazy long journal. Even though I do believe in writing down your goals. That's a different thing. But you don't have to have this long essay full of things and, whatever floats your boat. But you take the baby steps to make it happen. It all starts with a single choice and making a decision. And that one decision will help trigger your next thought or action. And once you speak it into existence, it slowly becomes into action. So I'd like you to try it. You feel yourself getting angry? Ask yourself, why am I angry? Ask yourself, do you want to be happy right now? You want to be sad right now? And then reach out to us. Tell me if I'm crazy. Tell me if what I'm saying makes any sense whatsoever or if I'm just totally out of my mind. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. And as always, we thank you for tuning in. You're listening to Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best.